The top of the Empire State Building.
Z100, New York.
Round of applause for everybody that's in studio. Lauren, my dear, it's been quite a journey.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been, just before we cracked the mic, so refreshing to see. I said this, this gust of wind, pick up this album and who you are and whisk it over the globe now. I guess let's go back a little bit and just talk about how a young woman from Lafayette, Louisiana, loving the Zydeco. You probably had the thing on. Did you have the chips with the spoon? Did you have the washboard at some point in time?
That's why I wear this stuff.
See, there it is.
On my ankles, I gotta have that jingle.
And all the bracelets have a meaning.
Yeah.
But how does a young woman, find so much passion in music and the willingness to share who she is through her words?
Oh wow, I do think it is about where you come from.
Yes.
People always say, "Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget where you come from." And for me, my family, and just watching them grow up in life. I'll tell you, you were talking about Katrina earlier.
Yeah.
Whenever Katrina happened, there were so many people that came to Lafayette.
Yes.
And we would go to like the red light districts
Mhm.
and fill up big old pots of gumbo.
Yeah.
And just go serve. We'd go knock on the motel doors and say, "We got gumbo for you." And I think there was something in that allowed me to communicate, learning people's stories, learning what people go through.
For sure.
I remember just being so young, being like, I want to communicate to people that I may never know, people that I may never see, a message that can reach every person on the planet.
Yes. I was about, I want to say September, October, when I first became familiar with you as an artist.
Oh, wow.
I was visiting my family, some friends of mine. Well, they're my family. My best friend and his wife. They're the parents to my godchildren.
Yeah.
We were in Wisconsin. And I'm sitting shotgun in his car, and Amy, and I got to give her the credit because she says, do you know Lauren Daigle? And I says, well, wait a second, turn on. And she's like, yeah, she's wonderful. We listen to her music means so much to me. She turned on. And when I say, listen here, girlfriend, I wrote this down in my notes.
Nah.
When I put Look Up Child as a bop, I meant it because I was and I was like, okay, hold on for a second. She started to, back in the day when she played this, when she started playing your music, she said her words have so much purpose.
Mm.
Is that something that you consciously go into when you're writing your records?
Yeah, totally. Someone once said, "Oh, now that you have some pop like
appeal or whatever,
appeal,
yeah,
are you going to start changing how you approach music, like lyrically and things like that?" And I just responded. I said, "The second I become inauthentic, people will smell it."
Yes, a mile away.
Yes,
for sure.
I'm like, so for me, when I sit down, I can only translate and communicate the experiences that I've walked through.
Yeah.
Or the experiences that I can relate to.
Yeah.
And so that's where the lyrics come from. It's just things that I've walked through in life. It's kind of letters, it's notes, it's questions, it's wonderings,
Yeah.
And then we put it to melody
and here it
we
is.
are.
And this is so poignant that you say that because I've had the chance to talk to a lot of artists who have found that in their music now, to have had that be so much of who Lauren is. When you get the accolades, when these records debut on the Billboard chart, when you hold records, when these Grammy Awards are collecting dust on the mantle now, how much pride do you take in knowing that it is because it is so true to you?
Wow. Oh man. That is a really good question. A lot of people, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you won a Grammy." And you're like, yeah, but it's beautiful when you see the stories on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there was a girl with You Say, we get stories like this all the time, but she said she tried to commit suicide and it failed. She landed herself in the hospital and she found the record while she was in the hospital. And when she came out, she said she could feel the wind again.
Oh my gosh.
And then she said, and I began to look at the sky and I could see the sky not as a destination, but as a place that I was excited to be underneath. And I was able to figure out how to live on this planet with a new life, like actually exist here and not just think about death here.
Yeah.
And that will make that Grammy sound really nice.
Yeah.
Those stories, that's what makes the Grammy look really
That makes
good.
it worth it when
You're
I had to
like,
go
"Oh
and dig
my
out a
God."
Swiffer duster and dust off that trophy.
I know.
So I know that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, it really has a purpose behind
Yes.
it.
I said, I'm going to take a big old scoop of ice cream and eat it out the middle. I'm gonna
Yo,
send it to
you
the
do
Grammys.
that, girl. You deserve that moment. I'm telling you, you deserve that moment. Now, as we talked a little bit about, you know, the pop, you know, consumer of you know what your music is, to be able to now get ready to cross the globe and share your story. We're talking this tour not only you know, here just in the States, but particularly New York, selling out in like, you know, a day or whatever at Radio City Music Hall. But now you're hitting the other parts of the globe. You're going to like doing the Europe thing and, you know, people that don't even speak English as their first language.
Yes.
What's that? I see the jaws dropping.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
you
freaking
pick up
out.
your chin a little bit.
I know. I'm like,
but
oh my God. It's crazy. Like, I've only been to Italy once, and I just went for fun. So to be able to do music in Europe, I've always thought, look at the music that's come, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Amy Winehouse, Adele. To be able to go there and do music, play music, and bring something that I love, I'm like, what
it's
is
pinch me.
going on?
When you look around and you see that family unit, those people who were there for you and who will always be there for you, and I'm talking even for those that don't know the story. I mean, you had to go through mono, and you found so much strength in leaning on those, but just to have them by your side and to look, you know, and say, I hope I'm making you proud.
Yeah.
What, gosh, yeah, how does your heart feel when you kind of think about things like that?
Oh, man. It's amazing. So I had that illness. I had cytomegalovirus. It's like it's like an extreme mono. That's the best way to explain it.
Man.
For 2 years. And I was placed on homebound. And that was when my mom said, hey, we should start doing voice lessons.
Yeah.
Basically to keep you from depression.
Yeah.
Let's keep you focused on music. And I fell in love. It became my healing.
Yeah.
And from that space, that's where those songs come from. I feel like that experience, I could live a lifetime off of just those 2 years.
For sure.
The wealth that was given to me and invested in that time. And I tell people a lot of times, what you think might overcome you is actually just the place you're supposed to launch from. Like what you think might be the place that is overwhelming and all-consuming is actually just the beginning of your
That's
destiny.
a starting point.
Yeah, totally. It's the starting point.
When you find out that you're strong enough to overcome that, that's when you finally realize, like, I mean, for lack of a better way to say it, you can do anything. You can, God, oh my God, listen, take me to church. You know, that's just how I feel right now.
True.
It is so amazing that that you're sharing your words, and I wanna, and that's a perfect segue because you're gonna be, I guess, the second Grammy Award winner. I have a little something over here that I want to ask of you. Okay. I collected this, and we have some Italian roots with this journal here. I guess you've been to Italy for fun. The same thing, and I found this little notebook that I decided to turn into what I like to call my notes book. And the meaning behind that is when I get the opportunity to meet with amazing songwriters and storytellers, I want to know about those notes or those lyrics that you personally maybe find a certain level of connection with. What are your favorite lyrics? Whether it was something that you wrote or something that you heard. And in this book so far, Alessia Cara, she typed in here one of her favorite song lyrics. And I want to hand you a blank page here, if you won't mind. And I would like to know, what are those lyrics?
Ooh,
That song lyric that you have in your heart that means the most to Lauren Daigle, and a little story behind why that lyric really connects to you.
Okay, this is so, man, there's so many.
I know that I feel, and every time I ask that question, I think to myself, like, there's so many words and stories and
many.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was a dumb question.
I love it.
But I'm going to force you to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it. And the more question is like, how many can I do? No, I'm kidding. We just did a cover of Don't Dream It's Over.
Yes.
And so we're searching, we're looking, we're going through, and we're coming up with all these things. But it was like that midnight hour, and I don't know if your brain is like mine, but the second the midnight hour clicks, it's like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like your brain just is alive.
It's moving.
It's moving. So I'm sitting there and I'm with my producer, and we see that he brought up Crowded House. He said, "Oh, we should look at Crowded House and see if they have any songs." He's from Australia. They're from New Zealand. It's
Connection.
a marriage,
Boom.
yeah.
There you go.
And so while we were looking at covers, we saw "Don't Dream It's Over," and I have heard that song so
Millions
many
of
times,
times.
so many times. But something about the lyric in that moment was so potent and so rich. So I'm gonna write.
Hey now.
Hey now, period. Hope that's good for you. No I'm kidding. It's the lyric is there is freedom within. Okay, wait. I'll tell you the lyric and then I'll write it
For sure.
I'll talk slow. There is freedom within. No I'm kidding. There's freedom within. There's freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. And for me, I grew up around water.
Yeah.
I grew up with that deluge. I know what a heavy rain
Yeah.
looks like.
I cried when Rita hit, girl. I didn't know what to do. I'm
Oh,
a California
my
kid, and
gosh.
what I was thinking, do I need to tape up some windows? Do
yeah.
I need to board up
Oh,
some?
yeah.
I was frightened.
Yes.
So I understand what you're talking
When
about.
the trees are blowing sideways,
Yeah.
you're like, hold up, how far until it's hitting the ground? before it
Exactly.
snaps?
I'm only 115 pounds,
I
y'all.
know.
When am I going to start to leave the ground?
I know. So when I think about that lyric, and you can think about all the ways that having something or losing something can both
Yes.
bring freedom. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. First of all, water makes paper cups melt
Soggy,
away.
yep,
Yes,
in a
soggy.
second.
But even just the weight within a small space, I think it's just a beautiful lyric.
See, and that's
Profound.
that's what I love. You find so much joy, passion, so much connectivity in words, and you bringing those words from your experience to the world is why there are going to be moments years from now. Someone, I don't know who it's going to be, I don't know where or when it's going to be, they're going to be telling that same story about You Say.
Wow.
And that's something that's really, really, really amazing. I just hope that you take the moment to understand that you're doing the Lord's work, and you're doing it so, so beautifully, and it's just like the coolest thing ever.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
girl.
You. Those words I'll take forever.
I mean it. This is my girl. We're
Come
gonna
on.
listen. We get gumbo boudin.
Let's
If
go.
we need to get
You
stuck
got
on
that.
Ambassador Caffrey at some time in traffic, I'm with you. If you're riding shotgun, sound good?
Right in front of the sewage plant.
Right in front
You're
of the
like,
sewage
why is
plant.
the sewage plant in the middle of the city? Let's go.
For
What
real.
are y'all doing?
That's a
where
little
we
shout
get our
out to
boudin,
Lafayette,
baby.
y'all. Lastly, I want to say congratulations on everything. Good luck on the tour. And the final word I want to say, girl, when you hit that stage at Jazz Fest and knowing what it's got to feel like to be from New Orleans, be in that area, and to share who you are on that stage is gonna be a moment.
Oh, man.
For real.
Thank
Hand the
you.
camera over to Lauren Daigle,
Thank you
y'all.
so much. Thanks
You're
for having
welcome.
me, Maxwell.
Of course.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100 New York.